we're gonna do a ring and using these really cool ring mandrels. So the first thing that you want to do with those mandrels is to dip them the day before you're gonna use them, because the bead release it's like a clay and it shrinks when it dries, and because you have a big surface, if you don't air dry them before you use your mandrel, it will shrink too much and it's gonna crack the surface, and when the surface is cracked it's gonna move, so your ring is going to move around and you're gonna lose your ring. Okay, so you dry them overnight, and you have to be really careful when you bake your bead release. Okay, so I'm gonna do a red ring with some texture on it using my brand new tools. Okay, so you have to be really careful. Okay, I have seen people doing rings using this mandrel, trying to use stringer, flat canes, all kind of trick to make the edges straight and round. But I try all of those things and it never works for me. But you remember when we did the disc yesterday, we were building up? So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna build the thickness, and when I have enough glass and it's even all the way around my mandrel, I will just heat and push it down. So as I push it down, it will just round the edges like this. So you won't have to do any cold work or, work on your ring after. Okay, so you have to heat your mandrel until it starts glowing, like any other mandrel. Do you have any questions? No? No? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes a standard ring size, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I don't remember this one. Yeah, but actually because you put bead release and sometimes your bead release will be thicker and sometimes thinner, it changes actually a lot with the size of your ring. So you can never be really precise with the size. But even if it's not the right size, people they can fit it in one, not in every finger. So you will always find a size that's perfect for you. Okay, so I think I'm hot enough. It's really important that your mandrel is really hot, because if it's not hot enough, your glass won't stick on it. So you really have to go all the way around. So can't you see that it's glowing right now? So now it's time to put the glass on. Touch it, and we do like we did with the disc. And you go slowly. If you go too fast, you won't be able to be even. And if you don't wait for the glass to be hot enough, you will have to pull and have some tension between the glass and your mandrel, and that's going to remove the bead release. And you will have to start with a new mandrel, because there's nothing you can do about that. So just be patient. And also a glass ring, you don't want to make the ring too thin, because it's really delicate, it's very fragile, and people always do it like this on the table, and you will break your ring. So we want a pretty thick ring. Okay, so I see that it's pretty thick now, so that's enough. Just look if it's too thick on one side, or no, it's pretty even. So now it's time to push the glass down. I'm not going to roll on my graphite paddle, because when you do that, you're going to move the thickness from one side to another side, and it's really hard to fix. So what I'm going to do first, I'm just going to push my glass down. And I stay close to the flame, and with my paddle, I go in the flame. Okay? Because if I go like, you lose time, and it's kind of long to make. So stay in the flame, push your glass down. Once in a while you will have to heat everything and go on the side gently, because you don't want your ring to be like this. Heat everything, go on both sides, just to fix it a little bit. Be careful not to touch the bead release with your paddle, because if you scratch the bead release, it's gonna crack, big mess. And don't turn too fast either, you know, because it's gonna stretch your glass out. If it's hot, be careful, just go slowly when you turn. So it's a pretty long process, but it will be perfect, so you won't have to touch it after. So you can see now I'm almost to the surface, and it starts to round the edge. You have to do that until you can't see any texture in the center of your ring. So as you come closer to the middle, you have to be more gentle with your pushing, because you don't want the glass to bleed on both sides. Okay, just a little bit more. So now, because it's not that high, you can heat and turn slowly on your paddle, and you don't push so much. It's better that you go several times than pushing too hard to have it done the first time. It's never good. Keep an eye on the side of your ring. Pretty good, maybe just one time, and we will be done with the ring. Okay, so now we have to look at the thickness around. So it's pretty round. Can't you see? It's pretty round. Okay, so now we're gonna start to decorate something. So I'm gonna build something on the top to make like a sculptural ring. Obviously, you're not going to be able to wear it or to wear it just once because it will be kind of delicate, but just to show you that even with a ring, we can go out of the mandrel a little bit. We don't have to do dots and pattern on a ring. And also, the second thing is when you heat your glass, you always have to go all the way around, because if you go just on one side, can't you see that the flame is not going on the other side? So that means it's really cold. And if it's cold, you're gonna work and then you're gonna hear tick, it's gonna break. It's gonna break where you forgot to reheat. And really, there's nothing you can do about it. When your ring is broken, it's broken. You can try to patch and add some more glass, but you will always see where you break your rings. So you have to stop concentrating so much on one spot. Just do one thing and then flash, 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 reheat everything, do another thing. It's really important. Whoops, sorry. Okay, because I want to do something big, now I'm gonna fold the glass one over each other like we did to have a bigger mass quicker. And you can see I'm keeping everything warm and turning all the time this one. If you don't do that, crack. Okay, so when I think I have enough glass on this side, just heat everywhere. Heat where I want to put it. Fuse it. Wait a little bit. Move it. Flash, you know? I'm not done with that, but I really have to reheat everywhere. I'm gonna try these fancy tools. Hey, let's see. Oh, that's cool. That's a cool pattern. And I'm gonna use this rod to stretch it. But I have to heat everywhere also. So you really have to have your mind everywhere. Hey. I will need a bigger flame to keep everything warm. Normally I will use my mid-range burner to do that, something a little bit bigger, but it will work. Just have to keep everything warm and it's gonna work. Okay, heat everything, heat where I want to put it, wait a little bit, move my rod and go all the way around to be sure that my ring is still hot enough. So we can build forever on this ring. And you can play with what you just add. when I do building like that, I want to keep everything up and then I can just move them down. But if I go too close to my ring and then I overheat, it's gonna overlap my ring, and maybe that's not what I want. The back of my ring, I have to heat it before I had something else here. Okay, flush everywhere. Okay, so you can see maybe I had 2 more and that would be it. So the more you had, the harder it is to keep everything warm. Do you have any questions? No, you're so quiet.
Thinking about how you add that ring.
I'm
Very
s-
carefully.
Well, actually, people buy a ring like that as collectibles, or I did some rings also for like a glass fashion show, and it's fun for one night. There, and the last one.
I think you should add little tiny fairies.
Oh yeah, right now.
Have some ivory you could use.
Yes. I really want to do that now. Okay. I think I'm done with that ring. So now you have to even the temperature. So look, isn't it fancy? Because the last petal that I put on is really hot. The other one are pretty cold. Probably my ring is pretty cold also. So I just want to go in the flame, not right here where it's really hot, but maybe over here, and just heat the surface. Wait a little bit, have the heat to penetrate the glass, and then reheat one more time. Maybe I will do that 2 or 3 times before I go in the kiln. Okay, so I think we're good to go in the kiln. Do you have any questions? No? Okay. So you all remember the steps? Go up and down and then decorate and be crazy? you. So now Cedric is going to make a borrow demo, okay? Because this afternoon you will all start pulling points and we're gonna start to blow something. So it's gonna make a small goblet and with some color on it. And this afternoon we're going to repeat all the steps so you will be able to do something, okay?
So because this one is quite large, I have to go slowly. Tes pinces. Ok. So the first step is pulling a point. Si tu veux me donner les couleurs, elles sont juste là-haut. So this is a new tool you're going to see. It's really helpful. It's a roller.
See?
Yes. So I'm just melting everything. I'm attaching just a piece of glass to be able to pull it. Well, it doesn't matter for now. The only thing, it has to be open at one side, because if you seal everything, the air inside is going to inflate and you will never be able to control it. So I'm keeping turning, I'm pushing just a little bit. Now, I can walk really close from the flame. It's okay. So I'm pulling slowly and harder at the end. And just at the end I'm pulling hard so everything's going to be straight. But I keep turning all the time until everything is really cold. So, because it's Pyrex, I'm able to cool down the glass with water. But just gently at the beginning. You will never be able to do this with Moretti. It's a completely different glass, okay? So don't go too close from the tube because this part stays really hot. But here it's thin, it cools down really fast. Okay, so I'm going to use this point as a handle and also as a blowpipe. So it's really important to have something long enough and thick enough too, because you don't want the point to break in your hand when you walk. Okay, so I'm going to pull a second point. After practicing like this, you will need some massage chair or anything.
Give them your spots.
Yes. So it takes a few minutes to melt everything because this tube is quite thick and I want to have enough glass for my point. So
And you're pushing.
I'm pushing a little bit. Okay, I'm waiting because everything is really hot now. So if I'm pulling just right now, only the hotter part will come and I want to pull all the glass. So I'm starting slowly to pull. Okay. And this is long enough for 2 points, so I'm saving time. You don't have to do this at the beginning. It's just to save time. Now everything's closed, so if I want to go back in the flame, I have to open one side. If I forgot to do this, this piece is going to shrink or to inflate. So I'm opening this side. I'm keeping this distance for me, like this. I fire polish the end and I cool it down. It's really important to do this at the beginning because we're going to blow inside. So don't forget. Okay. Also, Pyrex stay hot really long, and even if it's clear glass, you can see where it's hot. So these parts stay really hot. Don't forget to cool it down too. And be really well organized on your table because you can't see which tube is hot and which one is cold. So be aware of what you do. This point is a little bit off center here, so I'm going to replace it. Place it back. So it's much better now. I'm flipping because I want to be able to blow like this. I'm going to reheat everything really slowly. And like we did with Moretti stringer to draw on the beads, I'm going to do the same thing on the Pyrex. So I can draw spiral or anything I want, and after that I'm going to blow everything. Do you have questions for now? So if everything is not hot enough, the glass color will not stay on the surface, okay? So I have to keep everything warm before starting drawing. This is hot enough for now. So I'm just using a small flame like this, that I can draw like spiral. I have to go fast because the spiral is not fused with the glass, and if it cools down too much, it's going to crack. So I have to fuse everything before keeping drawing.
getting it flat?
Sorry?
Are you getting it flat?
Not yet. Just a
But
little
you
later.
don't want to have any texture on your color. You want the color to be really incorporate to the glass. Okay, you don't want to feel anything at the surface. It has to be really well fused.
Is it because it's thorough?
It's because it's
Yeah.
thorough.
So you can't do like tack fusing with the
Tack fusing with bottle won't work. It's gonna crack. Yes.
It's a different glass. We're going to speak about the difference. So you can draw anything you want. Okay. When you're done, you reheat everything and you fuse the color with the clear glass really, really well. So now I'm going to use a larger flame and I'm going to start blowing the bottom of the cup, okay? The glass. This is going to be the bottom and this is going to be the top of the glass. So I'm melting everything and after that I'm waiting. Okay? I have to wait every time.
To even the temperature of your
Yeah.
glass.
If I'm blowing just right now, only the outer part is going to inflate. I'm going to do the same thing here. Waiting again. So I'm blowing and I'm pushing at the same time to shape it. I can pull or I can push or I can pull depending on the shape I want to have. Okay. And I'm going to reheat everything right in the middle. Not yet, but I'm turning faster to use the centrifugal forces. Okay. A little bit more here. So you see I have a kind of cylinder shape now. a little bit. I'm going to remove this point because I don't need it anymore, and I'm going to open the top of the goblet. I'm going to show you different techniques to open a goblet like this.
What you just did, you just keep the top of the goblet, blow and pull at the same time so the glass is like paper thin. And when you come back in the flame, it's so thin that the flame cut the glass. This is one way of opening something, but there's many ways.
Okay, so I'm going to add a small lip wrap on it.
Pushing that on a little.
Yes, like you did with Moretti stringer. Just removing the excess of color here. Now I'm going to open it.
The way it's going to open the top, it's a combination of the flame pushing the glass to open. So it has an angle, and because of that angle, the flame goes inside and will force the glass to open. And will help you with the flame and the tools both together will open the floor.
It's getting bigger.
It's really fun to do.
Just turning and you see that it's opening.
Now,
Oh, not this one.
No, not this
No. I forgot to use the regular one.
because I'm not used to them. So you can shape it like this. And because I want something more friendly, I'm going to reheat the glass at some specific spot like this. And I'm going to squeeze it.
To push it down, so when you see the glass, you have spot to put your hands. You know, it's like you're squeezing your glass.
I think they're more friendly.
We like
If you keep it straight, you can find it in a dollar store. Okay, so just a little bit like this. And now I'm going to do the bottom of the goblet. So I have to reheat this tool, which is really, really useful. You can use it this way or inside like this. Maybe inside is going better. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to remove the other point. Also removing the excess of glass. I don't want to have something too thick. And now I'm just going to flat the bottom and it's finished. So I'm not turning too fast because I want to keep some glass in the center. If I'm turning too fast, it's going to go on the edge. Thank you. Waiting a little bit. And I'm pushing just gently. Okay. And like you did with the bead, it's a small flame annealing. And I'm going to use my specific tool. This is a pickle tweezer from France. I can't work if I haven't something like this. This is my favorite tool.
Yes, you have to go like.
I have many ones. And that's it. Okay. So with pyrex like this, it's not like with Moretti. I can leave it here for today, and tonight I'm going to put it in the annealer. But I don't have to rush for now. So that's a good thing for
We're going to put all
pyrex.
the piece in a cold annealer and just turn it off and anneal everything. And the next day you have your work.
So it's another difference with Moretti. Well, depending on the pieces, if you're doing complex pieces with a lot of things inside, you have to anneal it directly. But for something like this, you don't have to rush. Good? So this is the next step for the week.